These three, but the greatest of these is love.
Address will be given by the Archbishop of Canterbury, Primate of all England, Dr. Robert Runcie.
Here is the stuff of which fairy tales are made. The prince and princess on their wedding day. But fairy tales usually end at this point with the simple phrase, "They lived happily ever after." This may be because fairy tales regard marriage as an anticlimax after the romance of courtship. This is not the Christian view. Our faith sees the wedding day not as the place of arrival, but the place where the adventure really begins. There is an ancient Christian tradition that every bride and groom on their wedding day are regarded as a royal couple. To this day, in the marriage ceremonies of the Eastern Orthodox Church, crowns are held over the man and woman to express the conviction that as husband and wife, they are kings and queens of creation. As it says of humankind in the Bible, "Thou crownedst him with glory and honor, and didst set him over the work of thy hands." On a wedding day, it is made clear that God does not intend us to be puppets, but chooses to work through us, and especially through our marriages, to create the future of his world. Marriage is, first of all, a new creation for the partners themselves. As husband and wife live out their vows, loving and cherishing one another, sharing life's splendors and miseries, achievements and setbacks, they will be transformed in the process. A good marriage is a life, as the poet Edmund Muir says, where each asks from each what each most wants to give, and each awakes in each what else would never be. But any marriage which is turned in upon itself, in which the bride and groom simply gaze obsessively at one another, goes sour after a time. A marriage which really works is one which works for others. For marriage has both a private face and a public importance. If we solved all our economic problems and failed to build loving families, it would profit us nothing, because the family is the place where the future is created good and full of love, or deformed. Those who are married live happily ever after the wedding day if they persevere in the real adventure, which is the royal task of creating each other and creating a more loving world. That is true of every man and woman undertaking marriage. It must be especially true of this marriage, in which are placed so many hopes. Much of the world is in the grip of hopelessness. Many people seem to have surrendered to fatalism about the so-called inevitabilities of life: cruelty, injustice, poverty, bigotry and war. Some have accepted a cynical view of marriage itself. But all couples on their wedding day are royal couples and stand for the truth that we help to shape this world and are not just its victims. All of us are given the power to make the future more in God's image and to be kings and queens of love. This is our prayer for Charles and Diana. May the burdens we lay on them be matched by the love with which we support them in the years to come. And however long they live, may they always know that when they pledge themselves to each other before the altar of God, they were surrounded and supported not by mere spectators, but by the sincere affection and the active prayer of millions of friends. Thanks be to God.
While the choirs, joined by the trumpeters from the Royal Military School of Music, sing the anthem by Parry, I Was Glad, composed for the coronation of King Edward VII, the last prince to be married as Prince of Wales, the bride and groom will move through the choir to the high altar.